For your second and third days of building your mug, we're going to make things look a little nicer. You'll have a lot more tools that you can use, and we're going to get out your supply baskets for your table, which should have a container of slip in it, which is very, very wet clay that you use like a glue, squirt bottle for moisturizing your clay if it gets too dry, and a container that's got some toothbrushes. There's not slip in here. It's just water so the toothbrushes don't get hard. We use these when we attach your pieces. They stay with your basket and go back in there at the end of class. Rolling pins can be used again if you need it. We will have the box of fun, which is lots of different textures you can press into your clay to make it more interesting. So you have lots of tools at your disposal. When you're adding your parts, first mission, you want to make a handle of some type. There's more than one way to do it. So you could make a coiled handle, where you rip off a chunk of clay, squeeze it out like a fat caterpillar, and then roll. If you roll a coil, we roll directly on the table. Everything else, we use the cloth so it doesn't get stuck. So this would be a standard handle. You wouldn't need anything this long. So you cut it and then check to see if it looks funny on your mug. If it still looks too big, you can cut it even shorter. If you want to do a coiled handle but make it look a little fancier, you can roll your coils so they're thinner and give them a little squirt from the purple bottle, and we can twist them together. There may be some mild breakage when you do this, so squirt it, try to smooth it with your finger, or we will get out sponges. And if it's too long, slice off what you don't need. This could go on. When we attach parts, I mentioned slipping and scoring. Use the toothbrush, put it in the slip, brush where you're attaching. It's also helpful to brush the object you're attaching. What this does is it roughs up the surface, and the slip works like an adhesive. You press firmly to attach. If you have extra little drips, you can just wipe them off or sponge them off. Speaking of sponges, every table will have a bowl with some sponges in it and some water. You just squeeze it out over the bowl. We can use that sponge to smooth things out, especially the lip of your mug. That's where your mouth or someone else's mouth will go, and you don't want it to be sharp. If your sides are a little rough, you can also use the sponge for that. Just do not soak the entire thing with the sponge. Handles can also be made by cutting things out. So that's where we can use the rolling pin again. You need to take your mug, lay it against wherever you're cutting your handle. We have to measure the height of your mug, so you don't go to a lot of trouble making something and then find out it doesn't fit. If you want to, you can always plan it with your pencil first. If it has rough areas, that's what sponges are for. And then slip, score, press firmly to attach. Do not try to pick up your mug by the handle until after it has been fired. And do make sure any handle you add has a decent thickness to it. It needs to be at least as big as your pinky or bigger. That way it will be nice and strong. Next, I'm going to show you how to do subtractive sculpture. So subtractive sculpture is carving. Right now it's not carved. And we use one of these loop tools again, only instead of cutting with it, we use it to take material away. And you have to watch how deep you go So we don't want to make a hole in your mug. This is where I would want to add some additional texture. That's what the box of fun is for. There are things you can press into the clay, roll into the clay. They make it look much more interesting.